welcome to the deep dive. You know, we all have those moments, maybe in a meeting or an interview.
Or yeah, even just trying to explain something complex to a friend.
Right. And you're just fishing for the right words.
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving into a whole set of English phrases. Think of it like a communication toolkit. It's designed to help you find those words and instantly sound, well, more articulate. Our whole mission with this deep dive is really about helping you sound sharper, more confident, just more articulate overall.
Yeah.
Giving that subtle edge so your ideas really land with impact.
And what's really key here, I think, isn't just learning new words. It's the strategy behind these phrases.
Strategy? How so?
Well, they do more than just make you sound smart. They genuinely show there's nuance in your thinking.
Okay.
They make you come across as deliberate, thoughtful. Maybe the best part, they help you stand out, but without looking like you're trying too hard.
I see. So you're communicating with a real purpose, not just talking.
Exactly. Purpose and precision.
That's a great way to frame it. It really hits home that sounding smart isn't about, using massive, complicated words nobody understands.
Right.
It's about the right words used at the right time, making your point clearly and effectively.
Precisely.
So shall we start unpacking some of these?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's jump into this first set. These are sort of your everyday boosters, right? Really accessible things you can use pretty much straight away to sound more engaged and thoughtful.
Okay, first up, that's a valid point. Now, this sounds simple, but it's powerful.
Why is that? Just agreeing.
Not just agreeing. The benefit is it shows you're actively listening. You're analyzing what was said, not just hearing it.
Ah, okay. Processing it.
Exactly. You acknowledge their input, which, can make them way more open to hearing what you have to say next.
Makes sense.
So you could say something like, that's a valid point, but let me offer a different perspective. See, it's respectful, even if you disagree.
Yeah, I like that. It says a collaborative tone, doesn't it? Takes the edge off potential disagreement.
It really does.
So building on that idea of managing the conversation flow, sometimes things get off track or you need everyone to zoom out a bit. What works then?
Great question. For those moments, let's take a step back.
Okay.
This is fantastic for hitting reset if a discussion is going sideways, or maybe just to prompt everyone to think about the bigger picture.
And it sounds collaborative, not like you're shutting things down.
Precisely. You could say, okay, let's take a step back and consider why this issue started in the first place. It guides without being bossy.
Yeah.
Then I'd like to add to that, super useful in meetings, group chats, because it immediately signals you're building on someone else's idea. It shows you're being constructive, collaborative. It's a really respectful way to jump in.
So instead of just starting your own point, you connect it.
Exactly. I'd like to add to that, especially thinking about our long-term strategy here.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Connecting the dots. What if you want to show how something fits in with a larger plan or goal, like showing harmony?
Yeah, good one. For that, use that aligns with.
Aligns.
Right. It's just a smarter, more sophisticated way than saying that matches or that fits. It suggests a deeper connection, like coherence with goals or principles, for instance. That aligns with our overall goals for this quarter. Sounds much more strategic. Moving on, our fifth one is from my perspective.
Oh, I use this sometimes.
It's great, right? It conveys maturity, empathy too. You're sharing your opinion, but respectfully. You're acknowledging it's your view, not the only view.
Yeah, less likely to put someone on the defensive.
Totally. You could say, well, from my perspective, we might be rushing this decision a bit. It keeps the dialogue open. And related to that, we have it's worth considering. This one sounds really thoughtful, very diplomatic, especially good when you're offering a suggestion or an alternative.
How so?
It frames it as an invitation to think together, not like you're laying down the law, for example. It's worth considering a backup plan, just in case. Gentle, but clear.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see using that. It softens the suggestion. Okay, what about summarizing? When you need to cut through the noise and say, this is the main point.
Ah, yes. For clarity and impact, especially if you want to sound like you're leading the thought process, use the takeaway here is...
The takeaway. Nice.
It's direct, it's concise, it signals you've distilled the essence of the discussion. Okay, so the takeaway here is that clear communication is going to save us time. Number 8 is a good one. There's a common misconception that...
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
It's great, right? It lets you explain something and subtly establish that you know the topic well, but without sounding like a know-it-all correcting someone personally.
Because you're correcting a general idea, not them.
Exactly. So there's a common misconception that, more meetings automatically mean more productivity. Then a really simple but effective one. In other words, perfect for clarifying something complex or just rephrasing for better understanding.
Yeah, shows you can break things down.
Right. So in other words, we basically need to simplify this whole process. And the last one for this initial set, let's circle back to that.
The classic meeting manager phrase.
It is, but it's effective because it's polite, it's professional, it acknowledges a point someone made, but keeps the current discussion on track if it's not the right time.
So you don't just ignore it, but you park it.
Exactly. That's interesting. Let's circle back to that after we finish discussing the budget. Keeps things moving smoothly.
Wow, okay. That first set alone is incredibly useful. Just those phrases could really change how you navigate conversations day to day.
Definitely. They lay a great foundation.
But you mentioned there's another level. Phrases for maybe more formal settings or when you need to sound more strategic.
Absolutely. Let's get into some that add a bit more sophistication, maybe a touch more strategic weight.
Okay, I'm ready.
First, let's look at to that end. This is a really smooth transition phrase.
To that end. How does it work?
It links what you just said to the next point, showing a cause and effect or a logical progression towards a goal. It instantly sounds strategic, great for presentations.
Can you give an example?
Sure. We needed to improve customer satisfaction. To that end, we completely revamped the support system. See, it connects the action to the purpose. Next up, a subtle but important one. That begs the question.
Okay, I hear raises the question a lot. Is this different?
It is, technically. Begs the question is best used when a statement or situation logically implies or assumes something that really needs to be questioned itself. It points to a deeper inherent query.
So it's about an underlying assumption.
Often, yes. Or a logical consequence that opens up a fundamental question. So maybe the report shows huge profits, which begs the question, why are we still considering layoffs?
Got it. More precise than just raises. That's a good distinction. What about summarizing something really complicated quickly?
For that, you can use in a nutshell. It's visual, it's concise, and people get it immediately.
Like putting it all in one small container.
Exactly. You might say, look, in a nutshell, our main goal here is long-term sustainability. Quick, clear, memorable. Then there's, it stands to reason that. This one implies logical deduction.
Okay.
It suggests something is inherently sensible, almost obvious, but it does so much more elegantly than just saying obviously, which can sometimes sound a bit dismissive or rude.
Right. It invites agreement based on logic.
Precisely. Like, given the supply chain issues, it stands to reason that costs are going to rise. Now, to sound really grounded and practical, use pragmatically speaking. Pragmatically. Meaning realistically focused on the practical aspects rather than just theory. It signals you're thinking about what will actually work.
Okay, like cutting through the idealism.
Sort of, yeah, focusing on the feasible. Pragmatically speaking, we need a short-term fix for this problem before we design the perfect long-term solution. And if you want a more formal, slightly more elegant way to say, for example,
Is there one?
yes, try by way of illustration. It's perfect for more formal presentations, maybe reports or essays, adds a little gravitas.
Okay. You could say, our strategy has shown success. By way of illustration, consider our Q3 results.
These definitely sound more elevated. I like that. Now, what if someone in a meeting makes a really good point, like a standout contribution? How do you acknowledge that smartly?
Great question. For that, that's a salient point.
Salient. What does that mean exactly?
Salient basically means most noticeable, prominent, or important. So saying that's a salient point is a sophisticated way to say, wow, that's a really crucial insight.
Okay, so just the phrase itself conveys that weight.
It does.
Yeah.
Simply saying that's a salient point gives serious credit to the idea.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about the core idea behind something, the foundation,
Yeah, like the fundamental principle.
use underpinning this is. It helps you articulate the basic belief or structure that supports a strategy, an argument, whatever it is.
Okay.
For example, our entire marketing approach is changing. Underpinning this shift is a deeper understanding of customer trust. Now, sometimes you need to add a note of caution, right? A warning or a condition. Yeah, but without sounding negative or like you're just shooting something down.
Exactly. For that, use caveat here is, or one caveat is,
Caveat. Like a warning.
Precisely. It introduces a limitation or a condition, showing you thought about potential issues. It demonstrates discernment, like, this plan looks good. One caveat. This probably won't work effectively beyond the next 6 months.
Okay, ready for the last one? This one adds a touch of intellectual flair.
Ooh, intrigued. Lay it on me.
Mutatis mutandis.
Ooh, okay. Latin. How do you say that again?
Mutatis mutatis.
Mutatis mutandis.
Okay. And what does it mean? And when would I ever use it?
It means with necessary changes. You use it when you're applying a concept or a method from one situation to another, acknowledging that some adjustments will be needed, but the core principle still holds.
That's actually quite specific.
It is. And using it correctly shows pretty sophisticated thinking, for example. This management technique worked really well in the tech department, and it should work, mutatis mutandis, for the creative team too.
Wow. Okay. That implies you understand both contexts and the principle itself. Impressive.
It does give that impression, yeah. Instant credibility if used right.
So we've got this amazing toolkit now.
Yeah.
Everything from basic acknowledgments like that's a valid point, right up to, well, mutatis mutandis.
Aha, yeah, quite the range.
But here's the crucial bit, right? Having the tools is one thing. Using them well so you don't sound like you just swallowed a thesaurus or, worse, sound unnatural.
Yeah.
That's the real challenge.
Exactly. That's absolutely key. And the sources we looked at had some really solid advice on this.
Okay, let's hear it. How do we make these sound natural?
First and foremost, context is king, always.
Meaning
The phrase has to actually fit the situation and the flow of conversation. Don't just cram it in because you learned it. If it doesn't genuinely add clarity or impact or the right nuance,
right.
just don't use it. Let it go.
That's such good advice. I've definitely heard people try too hard, drop some phrase in, and it just clunks. It totally backfires.
Like, it sounds forced.
So how do you judge if it fits? Is there like a quick mental check?
A good check is to ask yourself, okay, if I wasn't actively trying to use smart phrases right now, would this thought still come out this way? Does this phrase feel like the natural way to express this specific idea here? If the honest answer is no, then yeah, it's probably forced.
Okay, that makes sense. Be honest with yourself. What else?
Second, your tone matters. A lot.
How so?
Use these phrases calmly, confidently, but without like neon signs flashing around them. You don't need to overemphasize them or deliver them like some grand pronouncement. A quiet, natural delivery is way more powerful. Third, and this is maybe obvious but crucial, practice.
The P word.
Yep. You can't expect these to roll off the tongue perfectly the first time. Try incorporating maybe just one new phrase a day. Start low stakes, maybe in an email or just thinking it through in your head or a casual chat.
Build the muscle memory.
Exactly. So it becomes second nature, not something you have to consciously retrieve and insert.
Okay, that feels doable. One a day. And I guess the point isn't to like pack as many of these into one sentence as possible.
Oh God, no, please don't. Which brings us to the last tip. Avoid overloading your sentences.
Right.
Remember, sounding smarter or more articulate doesn't mean sounding more complex. The goal is always clarity and impact. One well-placed, appropriate phrase. Brilliant. 3 fancy phrases crammed awkwardly into one sentence. That just sounds muddled and, frankly, a bit try-hard.
Precision tools, not a shotgun blast.
Perfect analogy. Use them precisely, where they add real value.
That is such a vital reminder.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, language isn't about showing off your vocabulary, is it? It's about connecting. It's about clarity for the listener and making sure your message actually lands effectively.
100%. Impact and connection.
So, wow, we've really covered a lot today. From those foundational phrases to the more sophisticated ones, you, the listener, really have a powerful toolkit now for communicating more effectively.
Absolutely. And if you think bigger picture for a moment, consistently practicing even just a few of these, where appropriate, can genuinely start to transform how you communicate.
How so?
Well, it's not just about sounding better. It often leads to thinking more clearly, structuring your thoughts better, and ultimately having more influence because your ideas are being received more effectively. It's a positive feedback loop.
That's a fascinating point. It's not just about the output, the words, but it might actually refine the input, the thinking process itself.
It can, yeah. Pushing yourself to articulate nuances often forces you to clarify those nuances in your own mind first.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. Beyond just slotting these phrases into your speech, what underlying shift in how you think about communication do these phrases encourage? Is it about being more analytical, more empathetic, more strategic? And how might that deeper shift impact the way you approach, well, pretty much all your interactions from now on?
Something to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. We'll leave you with that until our next deep dive.
Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe for more English learning videos. See you in the next lesson.